Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of TarotCelebritea with your boy Ducky. I almost forgot my intro. Actually, I did. I had to reshoot it. um, but today's video is going to be focusing on Jennie from Blackpink and Charles Melton. I see here Google has said that they collaborated on a music video. Wow! So this is a requested reading for from one of my lovely people that watches my videos. So thank you for your request. And remember to keep in mind that these videos are for entertainment purposes. And why is that, you may ask? Well, that is because we do not have Jennie, nor do we have Charles Melton here to confirm nor deny that what I'm seeing in the cards, how I'm interpreting the cards, whether it resonates with them or not, we just don't know for sure. But without further ado, let's get started on this reading. Okay, so just remember to take these videos with a grain of salt. And let's see first what pops out here. So let's see, what is their combined energy like whenever they were working together, whenever they think about one another. Oh, do I want this card? I think I do. We got the Hanged Man in reverse. Honestly, that's kind of a pretty good sign. I'm seeing a pretty good sign here. We also got, oh, okay, this is not a good sign. We got the Ace of Wands in reverse. Hmm. And we got the Five of Wands. Okay, so there's a lot of fiery energy, a lot of creative energy, which makes sense because they worked on a music video, which is creative, right? So the Suit of Wands represents fire, the fire element, which is all about our ambitions, our desires, and our passions, especially when it comes to projects and creative endeavors. So let's start here with this Ace of Wands that came here in reverse. So normally the Ace of Wands can talk about beginnings of creative changes, right? Or be the beginnings of creative pursuits. Also, please don't mind my little frownies that I got on my forehead. I'm 34 years old, y'all, and so I'm just trying to slow down Father Time just a little bit, whatever is in my control. But anyway, enough about me. So, um, we do have the Ace of Wands here, and it came in reverse. So to me, this is kind of telling me there's kind of like a lack of passion or creative passion. I don't know. There's something going on here, but it's throwing me for a loop here because we got the Hanged Man in reverse. The Hanged Man normally talks about, going with the flow, um, making your needs known, but then kind of letting them go. It's kind of, to me, it represents, if, let's say, for example, I tell one of my crushes that I like them, or I just send it out to the universe and I just let it go. I'm like, whatever will be, will be. But this card came in reverse. So there's this sense of like not wanting to let go of the situation, not wanting to let go of one another. Um, but there's this like lack of passion, or there's this lack of creative energy here within the two of them that's bringing in some kind of challenges. The Five of Wands is all about challenges. You could even see here these people that are fighting. Normally, though, right side up, these challenges help us level up. These challenges help us grow and improve. They're not the type of obstacles that kind of drain us. They are the type of obstacles that uplift us and help us level up. So the energy between Jennie and Charles Melton here is they don't want to let go of this connection, but there's this kind of like obstacle that's in the way, or there's this obstacle within their combined energy. And maybe it has taken some passion away. I'm not really sure exactly what type of passion this is that has gone away. So let's see if I can kind of draw another card representing the Ace of Cups in reverse, y'all. I don't see it for these two. If y'all were thinking these two, is there like some kind of a romantic connection? The Ace of Cups in reverse is all about someone. Sorry, I got a little itch. Someone here in this connection maybe is not very emotionally vulnerable, or they're not in an emotional place, or in a place where they can kind of give to others emotionally. You could see this cup, it's spilling, it runneth over, okay? So, sometimes you got to learn how to fill your own cup, or you should always fill your own cup before you can try and fill other people's cups. And so here in this combined energy, there is an imbalance of maybe someone here is not very emotionally vulnerable, they're not in a good place, and there's a lack here. So let's see here. Is there a romantic connection for any of those that are wondering if you requested this reading? I have not seen the music video for Love Hangovers, so I don't really know at all what their connection is like, even in the video. So I don't know if you're asking, or people are asking, if there's a romantic connection here because of what it was appeared on in the on screen. But we got the strength card here in reverse. There is a I'm just thinking of like giving in and losing yourself is kind of the strength card in reverse doesn't really talk about losing yourself per se, but sometimes, whenever you're not strong, Leo, the strength card is ruled by Leo, and it's a fixed fire sign. Again, more fire. Um, but this card came in reverse. So there is this like lack of pride or lack of confidence in oneself. So yeah, I feel like, is there a romantic connection between these two? No. Again, there's someone here who isn't really that proud, that confident in themselves, and it's showing in the way that they maybe emotionally talk about themselves, or they talk about their endeavors or their passions, their goals, and the goals that they have already accomplished. Um, this is kind of giving me, whenever I graduated from university, I was in a deep depression, and I didn't even want to attend my graduation ceremony, because I was like, well, I finished it. Yeah, yeah, whatever. And everyone else around me was more excited for this accomplishment than I was. And it had more to deal with like what I was going through emotionally and mentally at that time. And that's kind of what this is giving me. There's someone here in this connection that has accomplished a lot, but they're not really proud, or they don't really recognize the significance of it. They haven't really congratulated and celebrated themselves. And if these two were to get in a relationship, I think these issues would expand even more. They would magnify, and there would be this unbalanced nature of someone kind of constantly having to feed the other person's confidence, ego per se, to help them kind of fill up their cup. But it's always going to be empty, because this person isn't willing to do the work themselves, or isn't willing to kind of see these things for themselves. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Um, let's kind of go with some advice for these two. The interesting thing, though, is that they don't want to let go of this connection again with this hanged man coming in reverse. I feel like these two really enjoyed each other's company, but like in a friendly, amicable, platonic way, and not really in a romantic way. So let's just get some beautiful, unwarranted ducky advice for these two beautiful people. Y'all know I like to give y'all the tea on what I'm seeing or how I interpret the cards, but ultimately, we want to get the tea. We want to use cards. We want to use any kind of tool to help uplift us and help us level up. And so let's get some beautiful, unwarranted ducky advice. We're going to do one for Jennie, one for Charles Melton, and then one for both of them. So first one is for Jennie. We got the Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, is it Jenny that's probably the more emotionally distant one? I'm kind of getting that sense, but let's draw more cards. Okay, one for Charles Melton, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, and advice card for both of them together in this connection, this friendship. The Page of Swords. Okay, and then let's get one emotional healing card for the both of them with this Page of Swords. We got Spring, all about childhood, growing up, playing, experimenting. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll talk about that here in a bit. But first, let's go to Jenny's advice card with this Queen of Cups in reverse. So the Queen of Cups is the water queen, right? She's more emotionally in tune with herself. You could see all this flowy movement, and it's very ethereal, it's very serene, it's very calming. But this card comes in reverse. So there's this sense of unease, and it's an emotional unease for Jenny. And she really needs to kind of tap into what is it that's causing her to have this emotional unrest where she's not really able to tap in to herself and to her moods as well. So she really needs to kind of do some work in regards to figuring out why is it that maybe she isn't as connected to her accomplishments as other people are for her. Again, it's bringing me back to when I graduated and I wasn't even feeling it. I even napped on the way to the campus. It was like a 3 hour drive. I was already moved back home from uh, my university campus, and I napped the entire way. I just was not feeling it. I was not great. And so um, there's something here that maybe I'm getting the sense that maybe Jenny is has a I mean she's very successful. She's from Blackpink and she's done a lot of other beautiful projects and completed a lot of things, but I'm getting the sense of like it's just not really enough. Um, Emotionally, she's kind of decentered or desensitized. Sorry if you hear the puppy in the background. My mom got a little puppy, and she's being a little mouthy, so a little yappy. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting the sense here is that there's something that Jenny needs to work on kind of tapping into herself emotionally with her projects, and that's going to help her feel more fulfilled. It's going to help her feel more emotionally full again to where she could start helping other people and being this beautiful, gracious Queen of Cups energy that she has within her. I'm very curious to see like what her zodiac sign would be. Um, so let's do that. Jenny, born January 16th. Okay, so that's like an Aquarius, right? Or Capricorn. Okay, so she is a Capricorn on very close to Aquarius, but not quite. So, from my experience, Capricorns can be a little bit stubborn or stuck in the mud. They could be a stick in the mud sometimes, and it's hard for them to maybe tap in emotionally. So it definitely can resonate with this maybe being a, a problem or an obstacle that she needs to overcome and that she can overcome. And maybe this is the reason why she's kind of feeling a little bit desensitized to her accomplishments. You know, Capricorns are very motivated, but even when they accomplish a lot of things, it's always like, okay, on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. And they don't really allow themselves time to celebrate their accomplishments. And so I know a little bit about that. I have Capricorn rising, and so I definitely can understand how sometimes, when you accomplish one thing, you don't really allow yourself the time to celebrate. So I think the challenge that if I were speaking with Jenny would be I would challenge her to take some time to celebrate her accomplishments. And this will kind of allow her to start feeling a little bit more emotionally fulfilled with the goals that she has already met, and then her for her future goals. So now let's go on to Charles Melton's advice. We got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. The Four of Pentacles, you could even see here, this person is holding on near and dear to this beautiful star. And the Suit of Pentacles is all about our tangible things, things that we're able to hold on to, things that we're able to see or I guess experience with our five senses. But this card comes in reverse, and sometimes the Four of Pentacles can talk is a little bit of being overprotective of people, overprotective of your possessions, of things. So the advice that I'm seeing for Charles Melton is for him to kind of again, um, remember how I mentioned earlier, if these two were to get in a relationship or something, there would be one person who would be doing a little bit too much for the other emotionally. And I'm getting the sense that Charles Melton likes to be there for other people. Um, and sometimes he likes being there for other people so much that others depend on him a little bit too much to do the work for them. I'm seeing here, he's born January 4th. He's also a Capricorn. So these two can be a little bit headstrong, a little bit stubborn, or a little bit, they can be a little bit stuck in their ways. They are cardinal signs, I believe. So they're not really stuck in the mud, kind of like fixed signs, but because they're very ambitious, sometimes they're not able to see other perspectives, other points of view. Um, so the advice that I'm seeing here for Charles Melton is to let other people kind of take care of themselves, to take a step back and let other people focus on what they need to do to help themselves, to better themselves, and to not always feel the need to always be protecting and nurturing for others. Now, the advice for these two combined, because we got the Hanged Man here in reverse, I don't really get the sense that these two, again, want to let go of this connection. They really enjoyed it. So, the advice for these two is to stay in communication with one another. The Page of Swords is one of the communicating cards to me. The Suit of Swords is all about the way we think and the way we use our breath, our voice. Um, we got spring, which is all about childhood. It's all about, things blossoming. Things are kind of new and fresh. So the advice for these two is to keep things new and fresh, a little bit lighthearted. Again, because these two are Capricorns, maybe they can be a little bit too serious. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. They can be a little bit too serious about things, which is maybe why they don't want to let go of this connection because they like those deep talks. But the advice for them is to balance these deep talks about, their goals, their ambitions, um, with some more lighthearted, childlike creative and exciting energy. I think this will really help them go a long way and help them both grow. Because again, we got that Five of Wands card in the beginning, where these two help kind of challenge one another in a very positive route and in a positive direction. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here with this reading. Please let me know what you thought of it. If it kind of resonates with what you know of these two or of either one. I always enjoy reading those types of comments. I always can be wrong for sure and interpret things incorrectly. But this is just how I interpreted this reading based off of the cards that popped up. And feel free to hit that subscribe button. It always motivates me to continue making these videos for y'all. And if you have any other requests, feel free to hit them below in the comments. I cannot guarantee I can make everyone's requested video, but I can most certainly try. And remember to take care of yourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, sexually, and financially. Love and respect yourselves and others as best as you can. And as always, stay hydrated. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Bye.